What's
Hello.
up, saucers? Hello.
What up? What up?
This is another fun What Would Molly and Alissa Do? Or,
Yes.
you know, a WWMAAD, if you will.
A WWMAAD.
A WWMAAD.
And you know, if you're a real one and you've been listening to us for like the last couple years, you now know that you can take this episode and you know us well enough to know, okay, I definitely don't want to do what Molly would do. So you can use this in any way you choose, you know, like advice or the inverse. So keep that in mind.
Exactly. Or maybe you're a new fan of ours and you would take our word
Yes.
and do exactly what we say. And
Yes.
so to that, I say,
Can't
you're
recommend.
welcome. You're welcome.
And you're welcome. Yeah.
But we were on our IG and we asked for ideas of basically any problems that you might have that you would possibly want our advice for.
Yes.
And anonymously, of course. And the first little topic is budgeting and organization.
But we geared it towards women, right? We were like,
Oh, yeah.
for-
Yes, thank you. Oh, my goodness. Guys, this is a little slanted. This is more of like an Ask Women type thing.
Yes.
And yes. And this one specifically is, this first topic is budgeting and organization. You go first with your.
Organization, I am very good at. Just because I am a Virgo rising and I'm very organized, a little OCD with the organization.
I love that about you. I love it.
I'm like, I am very good at it, but I will selectively not do it. Like I can do it. I'm really good at it. But then there are some things like budgeting as an example. It's weird because I'm good with my money and like saving but I don't have an actual budget written out or a template on my computer or anything like I should. Yeah. And I feel like most adults do. And I'm really behind the curve on that. I monitor everything. I'm not just like out here not knowing what I have, but I really need to be better at that. I have a friend recently showed me her sheet that she does like monthly. It's a really good template. And I asked her to send it to me because maybe if she does that, I can share it on our IG.
That's such a good idea.
Yeah, because she showed me how she does it. And it's like, it's a lot to look at on the sheet. But she's like, once you have the template there, you just plug it in every month and it's really not that difficult.
Yeah.
So I don't have the best. I mean, I handle my shit, but I can't say I have the best budgeting practices right now. Organization. You know what helps me is writing stuff down because I have stuff in my phone. I have my phone calendar and all that, but I need my tangible like planner and I need to write it by hand and look at it. For me, that helps me organize my schedule. Yep. A lot.
I will say, I'm going to echo everything Molly said. So we're pretty much aligned on this. Organization I'm really good at as well. Could be better, of course. But it's the same thing where I need to write it down. And I think if I were to give any advice, if you need help with organization, like you just can't get something, you can't focus on your tasks, let's say. I feel like because I'm a Libra and like full air sign, like aesthetics really help me stay organized. And what I mean by that is like, get a planner that is just really cute and you want to have at your side all the time. You know what I mean? Or I have like different kind of spreadsheet type stuff in my iPad. I also have like a fun fabric little
yes, you always have really iPad. Like I love that.
Because it makes me want to, you know, write all my notes in it, write all my tasks in it. There's this one thing that I found on TikTok that I was like, ooh, this is interesting. I don't know if I would do it, but I feel like if you're really in the hole when it comes to organization, this could help you. They get these little bands, like kind of bracelets, like those little plastic twirly bands.
Yeah.
And then it has like this kind of not jingle, but like tag on it that makes a lot of noise. And they're different colors, maybe like 10 of them or 12 of them. And you can get them on Amazon for pretty cheap. And you make a note to like whatever your tasks usually are chores, whether it's doing the dishes or taking out the cat litter or something like that, you assign a band to that task, a colored band to that task. And you put, and let's say like just do one thing at a time. Like you just have to do the dishes, and that's the purple band. You put that purple band on and it makes so much noise that it makes you want to do it because it's just so noisy.
You can't take it off until you do it.
You can't take it off until you do it. So it's something to kind of force you to focus. I haven't had too much issue with the forcing how to focus on organization, but I know a lot of people that do. And that could actually help you. You know what I mean? Like a physical reminder that like forces you to focus and do that.
Something that'll force you. It's like setting your alarm across the room so that when it goes off, you have to get up to turn it off.
Yep. Exactly. Budgeting, I'm the same with you, Molly. I know to live within my means.
Right.
And I know when I don't care to, which is not all the time. When I'm just like, I need to treat myself. But I'm not good at budgeting either. And I feel like my advice is to get a friend, because I do. Like my sister's really good at budgeting. Like get a friend. We're not those friends.
It's not us.
But maybe we can share a really good, I think that's a really good idea to maybe on our social media this week, maybe put it in.
I'll do that.
Put it on. But the next one is prioritizing career over a side job, choosing distractions and like self-sabotage. This is an interesting one.
Yeah, this one made me think about when I was working in restaurants. And when I first started working in restaurants, that when I was at work at the restaurant, it felt like the fake version of me. Like I'm not really a server. I'm just here to make my money and serve, but I'm a musician. And over time, those roles started to reverse, and I found myself feeling like when I had days off, I was living a fake life. Like I was an imposter now as an artist, and going to the restaurant started to feel like real life. And that's when I was like, uh-oh.
Yep.
No. This is backwards. I am supposed to, it's exactly the opposite of what it started out as. And so and I don't know if this person was referencing, well, we're in Los Angeles, so it's like career over a side job. A lot of times that means like your career is your passion that you're pursuing out here and you're trying to support with your side job. And so that's how I interpreted it. And that's what it made me think of at the restaurant. And I think, so from my advice from that, if that's how you're feeling, because it's not where I wanted to be, but I don't know, the word prioritize is weird, but it's also like, I did start to feel like, okay, this is feeling more real life to me than what I actually want to be doing. And that's not okay. And I have to get out of this. But you still need like a side job. You still need consistent income. So it's not easy to do, but my advice would be to start searching for a side job that is more aligned with your career in some way. It could be because what I did, I used to think that if I spent any energy or time when I was starting out working in restaurants, for example, I thought, okay, if I spend any energy or time working on other creative things I love, like photography and design and all of this, I'm taking away from the time I could be spending on my music. So I want to put everything creative I have into my music, and then I just go to the serving job, keep my head down, make my money, and leave and get back to it. I thought that's how I was thinking about it. And then I realized as I got older, like, oh, because now I've transitioned. My job is creative. I'm doing photography, graphic design, like all of the things I love. And it's not taking away from my music career. It's actually adding to my creativity as a music artist.
Absolutely.
So this is kind of like it's not like an easy thing. Oh, just quit your job and find a better one. But like for me, if that's the world you're living in, where your worlds are starting to flip and you're starting to feel like, whoa, this is looking more like what my life actually is than this career that I'm pursuing, and it's got to change, I would say try to find something that is more creative. It doesn't have to be in the same realm. Like I said, I'm doing photography and graphic design. It's not music at all, but it channels my creativity. I feel like myself all day. I feel like an artist all day. Like do something for your day job that makes you align more with how you view yourself in your career.
I absolutely echo everything you said. Oh my God, working at that restaurant, I felt exactly the same way. I just felt like, well, this is my life and everything else is just hobby or just like, I'm kidding myself, you know,
a dream.
A dream. Yeah, finding something possibly remote too, so you can be in your own space. I feel like this is an interesting question too, for people that are listening. Like there can be a lot of privilege in this. You know what I mean? When you get to have the flexibility of choosing a side job that could be geared more creative, or just choosing another side job could be like not something you could do. And I think there's still ways around it. And I want to be like, you know, I want to understand that like not everybody gets to do this, but maybe little by little you can, especially if you can find a way to make passive income. There's a lot of stuff online about how to make passive income, so you don't really have to do anything. You know, there's a lot of free courses online for graphic design. You know what I mean? So you can maybe make digital prints and put them on Etsy, and then that could just go away for a second.
You can
oh yeah, go ahead.
You can join Skillshare.
Yes.
Who I would love for Skillshare to sponsor us. Let's put that out into the universe because, and you can take classes. It's like a membership that you pay for, but it's not crazy. And then you can take classes on virtually any subject ever and at your own pace and learn these skills, and you can leverage that into a different job.
Absolutely. I also love carving out a space in your apartment house, wherever you live, that's dedicated to your career. You know what I mean? Like what you want to do.
Yeah.
Like having a little desk area. If you're in a 1-bedroom, if you're in a studio, just a corner, maybe by a window, just a little space for you. And so it's a reminder of where to put your focus, and that it's not just, you know, it's real to you. It makes it more tangible, and it makes you focus on that more.
That's a good point.
Like I know a lot of people that have like a long desk, and one side of the desk is for their work, their side job, and one side of the desk is for like their work, their career, like their more creative space.
I like that.
Yeah. I feel like that helps me.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The next one is simplifying my life to only what's aligned with people, commitments, events, etc. Interesting.
Yeah, this is, I mean, we've done episodes on setting personal boundaries and what that looks like. One of our recent episodes was friendship, red and green flags, and when it's like, we've had episodes on when adult friendships fade, and that I'm mentioning all of those because it's like clearing out your life and adjusting to who you are now and where you are now, and basically decluttering your life, whether that's like this person mentioned, whether that's people in your life, commitments, events that you go to. I am now at a place, I have a girlfriend who's like all over the dating apps, and every time I see her, she's like, oh girl, I got like 4 men on the roster right now. And it's like every time I see her, it's like a new episode to a TV show or something. I'm like, what's happening now? And she was she's like, oh, and she's not really into any of them. She's just like dating around and you know, going on dates, and then and I've been there. I've been like, oh, I have 3 dates this week. Like, you know, there are times where you're in that space. Personally, right now, I am like, I got no time for that. Yeah. It's not, oh, I have no time to date. I have no time to socialize. No. I have no time for gratuitous things that are just like, I value my alone time so much that if it doesn't improve upon that, I'm not going to do it. And I was having this conversation with her because she was like, are you on the dating apps? You should get on the apps. And I was like, no. And she's like, well, so she's like, oh, you're really focused on your career and your job right now, and you're not open to dating right now. And I was like, no, I'm open to it. And she was like, what? But how are you going to meet anybody if you're not like out. And I was like, I am going out. The thing is, I'm being very selective with the events I go to, the people I spend time with. I'm not holed up in my apartment. I go to things, but if I go to things, it's like, I really want to be there. Like whether it's a night out, a night out dancing, or a friend's like film screening, or like I'm whoever I meet at these things is already going to be like-minded. I'm not just going out to the club again and again and again to go out. And so it's like I think by doing those things, you start to attract a circle of people and a lifestyle that is aligned with what they were saying. Yeah, a life that's only aligned, or simplifying my life to only what's aligned. And so it does you have to take initiative and be like, okay, what
is that?
Dinners am I going to? What people am I surrounded by? Yeah.
I recommend therapy, obviously. Maybe because you can only write so much in like the Instagram thing. Like there could be context of like, do you not know what's aligned? Like just in case whoever's listening, like if you don't know what aligns with you, essentially.
Yeah.
I think talking it out in any way, shape, or form, you will start to understand what sparks joy for you. Not to be Marie Kondo, but like it's true. It's like what you said with your alone time and like why you're not on the. It's like if it doesn't spark joy for me, life is too short for me to give it focus and give it time.
Like I don't want to go. Everybody knows what it feels like to be out with a friend or out in a group of people and be like, what am I even doing? Like, I'd so much rather be home right now, or on a date. Like, I cannot stomach the idea of having like a roster, which I have had, of like 4 different guys that I'm kind of into, kind of entertained, just texting with, just having fun. When I have no real interest in pursuing anything really, I'm like, all that energy that I would be using messaging people I'm not really into, just kind of playing around, could be going towards my music, could be going towards building this careers. Like I can't justify it.
Yeah. I think there has to be an active search for your inner voice to find what will spark joy and what you will find that aligns with you. And I think it's not easy. Sometimes you think that you want that roster, you think that's just going to feed you.
Yeah.
And it might not, and you could be lost. So I feel like I've really been there advice before, but the only way to do that is to consistently talking it out with someone that's close to you or a professional like a therapist, and also trying multiple things at once to find out what does align with you, and then after that, don't be afraid to set that boundary. Exactly what you said. Don't be afraid to say no to things. Don't be afraid to say yes to things that actually do excite you, but you've never done before.
Yes. It's like remaining self-aware enough to notice the signs of like, okay, I hung out with this person and I feel kind of darker. I feel a little bit drained after this. And like, but if you just blow through your day and hang out with this person, go to your next appointment, you're not really paying attention to how did this event, this person, this thing I committed to make me feel? And if it's not elevating you, then I think but you have to be, like you said, constantly conscious of yourself, bless you.
Thank you.
And your feelings and your thoughts and the energy you hold throughout your days. You have to be consciously monitoring that in order to notice what's aligned.
Oh,
yeah.
Amen. And then overwhelm of job, career, maintaining friendships, relationships, self-care, and time. So just being overwhelmed with those things. Well, I mean, again, I can't. I mean, everything. All my advice is therapy.
Yeah, for real.
But again, talking out why you're overwhelmed, what is making you overwhelmed. And I think this kind of is a good piggyback over the last one. It sounds like if a relationship is overwhelming you, that's your sign. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jobs can be overwhelming even when they're good for and could be good for you or you enjoy them. I think when it comes to a job being overwhelming, I think it depends on if it's a pattern. If it's not a good overwhelming, like sometimes there is a good overwhelming, right? When something is like challenging you in a good way and you're stepping up. If you're not stepping up to the challenge, if you're not stepping up to the overwhelming of a pattern of overwhelming feelings you're getting at this job. That's your sign that it's probably not for you. And that's okay. And friendships, again, if you're feeling like, or maintaining friendships rather, I feel like that's an interesting one too. I feel like we've talked about that. I can't remember.
Yeah, we did because we were talking about basically when friendships kind of fade, or when you you feel friendships fading. We were talking about what is
not pushing,
when it becomes too much, when it becomes an obligation to maintain it, or a feeling of like a chore, you know, then it's not worth it.
Yeah. And like maybe there's a world where you feel like you want to foster a friendship, but like, no, I feel like that. I mean, this doesn't have to be like what this person's going through, but sometimes you might be going through depression. You know what I mean? Like if you're finding yourself not being able to maintain a lot of things that you once found joy with, like either like they're not serving you, or you wish you could, there could, go ahead.
I was going to say also, addressing burnout is really important because that is something I had this thought. This was yesterday. So our bodies, like we can withstand a lot, but we have the option to just push through these signs that our mind and bodies give us until a certain point, and then we give out. We get a cold, we get sick, we're on our feet knocked off our feet for 3 days or something like that, where your body's like, I give up. I've been giving you signals, but you're not listening. You are not going to be sick for 3 days, you know? So that is burnout is something that we all have. Our bodies are machines, and it's our job to consistently, it comes back down to listening to yourself, because last night, for example, and I've been really busy lately, but it's the good overwhelm that you were just talking about, where it's like a lot of things that I really care about, I'm passionate about, I love, they're giving me energy, but it's still a lot. And I got home from work last night, and I had a little bit of a headache starting, and I had a Zoom call in a half an hour. And then I was taking a friend to the airport at like 10 p.m. that night. And so I was like, okay, I'm feeling this headache is coming on. I know it's coming on. And I'm just like, okay, I can. So the Zoom was quick. And then I have a couple hours until I have to go to the airport. And I was like really tired, and I found myself fighting my sleepiness, because I was like, well, it's already 7:30 and I'm leaving in like 2 hours to go to the airport. Like I'll just do. And then I was like, you know what? No, because if I don't listen to my body right now, I'll be fine tonight, and tomorrow I'll be a little bit more tired and a little bit more tired. But come the weekend, I might just be like flat out, and I won't have energy to do these things that build up and they're bigger. So basically I took an hour nap at 7:30 p.m. I slept till 8:30, got up, took a shower, then took her to the airport, and came back and had a good night's sleep. But like that 1 extra hour of sleep, I'm saying it's tied to this question, because I'm like 1 hour of sleep that I gave myself in the evening at a time where you'd be like, maybe I shouldn't go to sleep right now. You still have to go out and do this. I needed it, and I knew it. And I think it prevented burnout. And when you're burnt out, it can cross over with depression, but definitely overwhelmed too, where you're just like, I can't handle all of this, because you're not, along the way, you're not nurturing yourself. So it's like, we need to, even if it's good overwhelm, and it could be good or bad. It's just a lot of things to maintain and keep all these balls in the air. As long as daily you are making time, like, how do I feel right? Do I need to rest right now? Do I need to eat right now? And is this too much for me today? Should I address it tomorrow? It's constantly being gentle with yourself and listening to yourself.
Absolutely. I echo everything you just said. I mean, that's so true. And burnout is such a thing that is getting more talked about, I think, with our generation too, because I feel like millennials are like the classic case of burnt out because of capitalism and everything else. But I think that's so good, and ties right to self-care. You know what I mean? Like you needed to go sleep, so you go sleep. I mean, at the end of the day, this is like a lot of these are a huge test and just a bigger conversation about boundaries and what you're willing to set for yourself and others. But you won't get there until you know what you need. If you don't know what you need, you won't know
Correct.
to set the boundary for it or set the need for it. And I think that is part of the battle. And I speak from experience with that. Like I'm still learning like what is actually good for me or not, you know, because I will push myself, you know what I mean? And like to a point where it's like, should I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, can I handle this? I don't know.
I know. And then you're like playing like Russian roulette, like, let's find out if I can handle it.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's like,
is there a bullet in the chamber?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
But I mean, the hustle culture is real, and like keeping up with the Joneses is real, and you want to, you know, do so many things, and you want to just push yourself. And like, there's times where it helps you, and there's times where it hurts you. And it's like, it's really hard to find that balance because you want to be a happy adult person.
And like perfect and achieve all these things, but it's really like being, I don't know, we're all human, and there are so many things that just like we just have to listen to ourselves. We really have to listen, because I find when I notice that I get a lot of anxiety, like if I come home from a day that just like I feel like I'm constantly behind the ball all day, and then I get home and feel anxious, and I might go to like, okay, I just want to like zone out and watch a movie and let my mind go numb, or I just want to eat a bunch of junk food and like, you know, the things that you go to like self-soothe that aren't necessarily healthy. I have taken to, it doesn't always work, but what I try to do is like, I know when I'm feeling that way, because I get home and I'm just like, like pajamas, ice cream, Netflix, blah, like, and even if I have obligations, and that ultimately adds to your stress and anxiety, but I still do it. But what I'm learning to do is like, okay, come inside, for example, take a moment and be like, okay, I can do whatever I decide to do. If I decide to do that, I'm free to do it. So you take the pressure off, but also like, what do I need right now? And like really stop and get a little bit quiet within my body and try to like things like, am I thirsty? Am I hungry? Am I tired? The basic things, because that will, and it sounds so simple. Like, I know I'm tired. I just got home, but it's like, no, really like stop and like close your eyes and tune into your actual body. And like, even, am I thirsty? Like, do I have a headache? Am I thirsty? Do I need to lay down? Do I need darkness and silence right now? Sometimes I come home and I will turn my lights off and shut the blinds and sit in silence and darkness for like 10 minutes until I feel like I've regathered who I am. And then I turn the lights on and have my night.
I love those moments where I feel no, but it's true. It's like, it's a beautiful thing when mind and body come together and you're listening to yourself and you honor that. It's, I don't know. Like, I feel like with other older generations, and I don't know, I'm bringing up like it's a generational thing, but like I'll see other older generations not do that. Like, don't necessarily honor what they need because I don't know, they were raised with a different mentality of just work. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, you're not working hard enough. You got to work. Your
needs don't matter.
Your needs don't matter. Being a provider is what matters. And you can't shake that feeling. You know what I mean? It's ingrained in you, but that comes with anxieties. That comes with a lot of issues because you, for your entire life, never listened to your body. And that is something that, you know, I speak by you as well. Like, I cannot do, like, I just.
Well, and like, you know, think about the level of care we take with infants, for example, if they're crying. It's like, are you tired? Do you need your diaper changed? Are you hungry? Do you need food? Do you want to be held? Do you want to lay down? We do that for infants, and we need to do that for ourselves. Like, we really literally need to do that for ourselves. Do I need to lay down? Do I need to like wrap myself in a cozy blanket and cry on the bed right now? Or do I need to go for a run? Or do I need to, but we need to have the level of urgency and concern when something in us is like that crying baby, to be like, okay, do you need food? Do you need water? Instead of just throwing shit at it, that always, like, I use that example of just like junk food and Netflix, which can be the solution. But if every time I feel that feeling or the baby starts crying, you just shove a pacifier in its mouth or throw that one toy at it or give him a snack or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always that solution.
Yeah.
And sometimes it is, but it is not always. And then if you the whole reward thing, like with kids, if you just teach them that, like, you do this and then you get this, it's like convoluted way. So we really need to like listen to what we need and try to give it to ourselves. Like, okay,
yes,
maybe I am extra hungry right now. Like, go for it. Or maybe I'm really just thirsty and I need a bath. Maybe
exactly.
There's so many things.
Or you need help, or you need to ask for help. And what that reminds me of is I heard someone talking about it in, I don't know if it was a TED Talk or something about like basic human needs, but this person was talking about how every species is born doing the most important thing that species needs to do. Like dogs know how to walk right away, and giraffes know how to, I forget, like every species know. And what is the first thing that babies do?
Cry?
But what does the crying do? It's help. It's a call for help is what crying is. So that is like at the basic of human needs is not being afraid to ask for help when you need it. And not to judge yourself for doing it, like, because that's exactly what we need. I know, it's great.
Mind blowing.
Do you want to read one more and like do like okay. We're going to read this one little piece. Basically, this person went on r/Ask Women Advice on Reddit and needs help. So 24 female is looking for practical tips on overcoming loneliness and sadness after a breakup. I broke up with my ex around 6 months ago after being together for 2 years. Nobody's fault, just the circumstances weren't right for us. We both decided to end it and move on. I wish him nothing but the best. He's a lovely guy. I'm obviously upset, worsened by the fact that I found out he now has a new girlfriend, but I'm trying to stay strong. I know that I will get through this, and I will genuinely believe I will find someone better suited for me at some point. However, I still find that I'm crying myself to sleep more nights than I can count, and I feel really down whenever I'm alone. I don't have a great support system. I don't talk to my family much, and I only have a couple of close friends who have been helpful but are now starting to become a bit dismissive of my feelings. I don't want to start dating again. I have a couple of hobbies but nothing I'm really passionate about, and I don't know what else to try. Does anyone have any practical tips for when it all seems a bit too much? I think I have the right perspective, but I'm looking for more specific advice for when I feel like crap. For example, let yourself cry for 15 minutes and then get up and go do something, rather than the more general things will get better reminders. Thank you. Therapy?
Yeah.
Because it sounds like if your close friends are being dismissive, I mean, I don't know to the extent of how bad you're spending your time with those friends.
Right.
Talking about your sadness. It could be overshadowing the whole entirety of the friendship. I don't know. Like there could be a world where your friends are being dicks, but there could be a world where you're just, maybe it is a bit too much for them and it's getting a lot. So in that case, I feel like a therapist would be the best way to unleash those things. I would also say this is a perfect time to eat, pray, love. And again, this is a privilege thing, but like whatever you can, if it's just a week you spend somewhere outside of your routine, you know what I mean? Whether it's the town over and in a cheap Airbnb or camping with maybe one friend that isn't the least dismissive of your close friends, getting you out of your routine at any point, I feel like is going to help. I feel like that helped me in my breakup a billion years ago, was doing things outside of my routine, because that routine reminded me either of the relationship or it reminded me of the last, 6 months? 6 months of grieving this relationship. You are just in this hole. You need a break in this routine to get your mind out of this. Yeah. What about you?
I would say for me, when I've felt like that, it's like, and each time that I've experienced heartbreak, I've noticed my evolution of how I've dealt with it get better and better. I think there's like 3 times throughout my life that I remember it being like really bad. And I think this sounds so basic and like boring, but just let yourself be sad. And it's like, I don't know, it really sounds like the most basic ass advice,
it's true.
but I found that like I really had to stop being like, okay, when's it gonna get better? Okay, let me do this. Maybe I'll feel better. Stop chasing feeling better, because you're not gonna feel better. Yeah. You're not gonna feel better for a minute. Yeah. And not in a like, you're already depressed. I was gonna say not in a depressing way, but like not in a, oh, it's hopeless, it'll never get better. But like, no, right now it feels like shit. And tomorrow it's not going to feel immensely better than today. And I know that. And so I'm just going to let myself feel it all right now, so that as I heal, once it does start to heal, it's really healed. It's not something that I covered up and buried. And then 6 months later, or I'm in another relationship and then I realize, oh my God, I never dealt with this. I thought I did, but I really just like tucked it away. You need to let yourself take comfort in the fact that you're in the lowest of low now. Yeah. Because if you're in it and you go through that, you will close that door and you're not going to dive back into it, but you are in it. And it's like embracing the darkness is what I have found. And it's miserable. It is miserable. It's not like a solution that this will make you feel better, but it is a solution that will assure that you actually do heal. And Absolutely. Like you let yourself feel that, because I have just like cried until I couldn't, or just like stayed in bed and done nothing, like slept my life away until I woke up. You know, you just want to stay asleep. You don't want to remember what's happening. You wake up and you're like, the second you come to reality, you're like, ugh, why would I even get out of bed? Like, why am I even awake? Like, I think you have to just live in that. And that's the best thing. And it is awful. But I noticed that like, the more I sink into that, the deeper, and I can't necessarily say faster, because it's hard to know. It felt like I moved through it easier when I really just embraced that I'm in a shithole right now and I'm going to be in it tomorrow too. And but I know that I'm not going to wake up a year from now and feel this way. So I don't know where I cross that line, but it's my job to just like acknowledge and accept how I feel right now.
Absolutely. Feel your feelings. I agree with that. I think that's really good advice, because there could be a lot of, I mean, you say like you're crying yourself to sleep more nights than you can count. There could be during the day where there's a lot of judgment over your feelings, especially if you don't have the support system you need. If you have dismissive friends, you feel like you want to judge yourself for still grieving this breakup. And because you might be dismissive of your own feelings just as much as your friends are. And that's not good. It's going to keep you stuck for longer. Yeah. Because you're not acknowledging, you're not, what's the word? Not catering, but you're not nurturing that feeling. You know, you kind of have to nurture that part of you and not judge it. You can't have shame over your sadness. That means you felt something. That means something was important to you, and that you're a human, and this is only going to it really will make you stronger. And I don't know if you're a creative person, but channeling this in some way is also could be bomb.
You're that saying like, don't judge your own sadness and don't have shame attached to, that's massive. And I think that's a better articulated way of saying what I was trying to say, because essentially it was that like, acknowledge, don't feel bad. Don't feel guilty that you're feeling this way. Like, I feel like shit. I mean, I just do. And I'm not going to try to fake myself out of it or try to chase feeling good when that's not actually possible right now. But that's a really beautiful way to put it, how you just said.
Yeah. Maybe kind of enjoy it. A good cry is not,
honestly,
like,
it's therapeutic.
It is. Especially if you can channel it or go on a little vacay. Like sometimes, I don't know. That's also, those are the best memories.
It's also like a good time to get more in touch with I'll say spirituality, because I don't know, everybody's belief systems, if you're religious or if you're spiritual or you just more in touch with yourself. But like for me, it was that where you're sad, you're alone, you're just like, okay, what are the things what can I do right now and cultivate who I am, myself, like learn about myself, learn about, like, I will talk to my grandma who's passed like for years now, and I have conversations with her, and I'm just like, and I really feel like she's there. And if you have somebody in your life, someone that passed, or you have spirit guides you talk to, or God, you pray, like whatever it is,
or a pet,
or a pet. Yeah. Yes. Like any of that is, you can cultivate that inner life within you, because it's easy to quote unquote cultivate your inner life when you're happy, because you're like, I'm doing so good. I'm good at self-care. I meditated today. But when you're depressed, it's like, well, what do you cultivate that inner life for, that inner world for? It's for when you're struggling. So when you're in the depths of struggling, it's like, okay, I'm really putting to the test, how strong have I made my inner world? And can I lean on myself when I feel like I'm wearing my friends out, or I'm just not better yet? How can I fortify my inner being?
This one keeps flying on me. Yeah, absolutely. Can I take myself? Can I, you know what I mean? Like, do I have the patience for myself? Do I have the patience to hear myself when I'm crying?
Can I stand
hear myself when can I stand? It's like, that's not, especially when you're going through a breakup, that is a test, because you're just going over all the things that you did wrong. Like, what did you do to cause this? Like, if I had done this, maybe this could have been,
Yeah.
But
yeah. Well, that was like across the whole gamut.
I know. We've got to do this again.
Heartbreak, financial. Yeah, we do. These are good ones, actually, because it's...
Come on, guys. You love our advice, right?
I feel like this is therapeutic for us, too, because talking about your views on these situations or your coping mechanisms or what you do is also enlightening, because I'm like, maybe I should be... Like, we're talking about budgeting.
A reminder.
Like, actually, I need to be... It's good.
I know. Me and Ryan always say we're going to do that, and then we just don't. I'm actually like the worst person to ask about money. I mean, I'm not bad with money. That's the thing, but I'm not. Right. I could be way better. Like, I know there's some stupid shit. Like, I have way too much money in my checking account, and I'm too like weird about not having it.
Yeah.
Like, I especially because I don't have a steady job. Now, sorry guys, you can like stop listening to it. I'm just venting to Molly now, but like
turn it off.
But I don't know. That's something that I need to. So maybe if you share your friends' budgeting,
I will. I'm going to share that. I'm going to get that.
You know what? A financial person, like a
financial advisor.
Yeah.
Okay. We need a financial advisor on the pod.
And then we could really give you guys good advice on the next What Would Molly Know Listen To?
Then we can come from a place of validity.
Oh, God.
Yes.
But guys, we love you. Please follow us on Instagram at the SOS Pod. We're also on YouTube, SOS with Molly and Alissa, and iTunes and Spotify and anywhere you or Apple Podcasts rather, wherever you find podcasts, we are there. And rate and review us; it helps us reach more people.
Yes. We love you. And Patreon.
We're on Patreon, guys. So please join our community, and you'll get some fun stuff
and some more inappropriate conversations.
Hell yeah.
I'm Molly Cottrell.
I'm Alissa Rosano.
Here's to turning meltdowns
the magic.